Hey folks, how's it going? This is Seagull here, back with another game update overview for The Sims 4. This one is for June 14th, 2022, basically the pre-werewolves patch. So we got a bunch of things in this update, even more than I thought we were going to get. The main highlights are the Lunar Cycles, the reasonably sized telescope, and it also bringing back the meteor death from The Sims 3. But there's a number of smaller nice additions as well, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting with the main menu. Yes, they did change it once again, but not the whole thing, just the scenarios part. Now those scenarios are all displayed on the left-hand side, and I think this actually looks nicer than what we had before. And it does categorize the scenarios into like just different sections, and it is overall, I guess, kind of like a sensible approach to do it now, since we have way more scenarios than what we did for like the first few months where we only had like 2 or 3 at a time. Now let's talk about Lunar Cycles. This is something I've been really excited to see because it's something that's been pretty high up on my wish list for years now, and it's even better that it's in the base game for everyone instead of just being limited to a single pack. So we do have all the rotating phases of the moon as you'd expect. What you're seeing in this footage is the waxing gibbous moon as it's rising up. When I resumed my current save, it did initially start off with a new moon, but just for the sake of visual effect, I did want to show a moon that was a little more dramatic looking. There are a decent amount of customization options for the moon if you'd like to play around with them, because if you go into game options and go under the environment category, you can change the length of the lunar cycle, you can change it to just one phase permanently, and you can also disable the lunar effects that the lunar cycle has on your Sims. So yes, these do affect occult Sims. According to the patch notes, it says that during certain moon phases, mermaids have less hydration loss, vampires recharge power slower, spellcasters cast spells more successfully, and aliens receive a special moodlet while moonbathing, which is also now a thing for all Sims teen and older. Unfortunately, I didn't get to check out the special moodlet for aliens, but I did check out moonbathing. All you really do is you just click on the Sim that you're playing as, and there's a moonbathe interaction, and the Sims just proceed to lie down on the ground for a while, and then afterwards they get a playful buff for a few hours. So unless you really need your Sims to get into the playful emotion during nighttime, I don't see a whole lot of point to it. I guess it is nice in certain locations to have the Sims just lie down like that, but I think I would most of the time rather just use the lounger, because we can already use that for sunbathing, but there's no moonbathing option on it. The patch notes also claim that there are some new interactions for toddlers where they can ask questions during each phase, and they can also say goodnight to the moon, and that apparently grants them special moon dreams, which may change depending on the particular moon phase that night. But I couldn't find that anywhere. One person did tell me on Twitter that there is a new book, which I did end up finding. It's called A Good Night's Moon, and it's a pretty cute book when you have your toddlers read it. But I had one of my toddlers read the book themselves, and then the other toddler, I had their dad just read it as a bedtime story, and there were no special effects for either, so I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully that can be clarified by a sim guru at some point, and if it does end up being really interesting, maybe I'll just revisit this part in a separate video. But yeah, I don't know. With the patch notes, they, I think, got the most carried away they ever have with just all the funny text that they write. So I think they need to dial that back a bit if there aren't actually interactions for toddlers to ask about the moon or to have special lunar dreams. Overall though, I'm pretty happy that we finally have lunar cycles. I wouldn't mind seeing blood moons and blue moons incorporated as really rare events in the future, but other than that, lunar cycles definitely came with a bit more in tow than I imagined they would. Next we gotta talk about the telescopes. So finally we do have those back. No, you cannot woohoo inside them because that wouldn't really make much sense. But we do have a few different interactions for these depending on the time of day, including Spy on Neighborhood, which I didn't see, Observe the Sky, Search for the Truth, that one I didn't see either. I'm not sure what you need to be in order to get that. Stargaze, Track Satellites, another one I'm not sure about, and then Spy on Apartments if you happen to have City Living installed. Thankfully, these telescopes are portable, so you can just drag them into your Sims inventory and take them with you. Because I did say in a previous video, I was thinking about having my couple that I moved into Tartosa just go out to the bridge by Hideaway Falls and stargaze from there, and that's what I ended up doing here. Though I'm not really sure what the difference is between stargazing and moongazing on the telescope. They both seem to do the exact same thing. It would be nice though if we were able to place objects more precisely while out in the world, because it did take a couple of tries to get the angle I wanted with these telescopes. Sure, you can use the tool mod if you use mods, but it would be nice if there was an official way to do it. The animations I think are pretty nice though. They remind me a lot of The Sims 2, and just like in that game, they can sometimes see things they probably shouldn't have and can have a little giggle about it. Jasmine here definitely seems to be enjoying herself, but no, those earrings and her hairstyle necklace are just custom content. They're not part of the update. There are a few new Create a Sim items though. We'll get into those a little bit later. But the one other thing I gotta talk about, which ties directly into the telescopes, is the new death, or rather a returning one from The Sims 3, Death by Meteorite. I don't believe it matters what time of day it is, but if your Sims are using the telescope, there is a small chance that you'll get an orange notification saying that the Sim has noticed a meteor that's heading right for them and that they should seek shelter, and quickly. On top of that, you do get a fairly strong scared buff that says, "It's coming right for me," from using telescope. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's not Superman. It's a meteorite! It's headed right for your Sim, run for cover. This buff only lasts for 18 minutes, so you gotta be quick. But if you don't run for cover within that time, then your Sim will start to cower in fear and they'll get absolutely crushed by a meteorite while some epic music plays in the background. I love how the death notification actually starts by saying, "Houston, we have a problem." For some reason though, the meteorite in The Sims 4 costs 0 simoleons, because I remember one of the most interesting aspects of the meteor strikes in The Sims 3 Ambitions is that those meteors are worth quite a bit. I think they were like 10k. So if a loved one did die from one of those, then at least you could get some money from that. The meteorite does look good though. I already uploaded it to my gallery, iron_seagull, in case you wanted to use it for decor purposes or something like that. I also find it really strange that absolutely nothing else got even dented or caught on fire. I think that is something that should be changed to make these even more dramatic. I mean, in this second take here, the telescope was right beside it and nothing happened to it at all. And also, the animation, I think, could have been better with the Sim dying. Like, it's just, boom, they're on the ground in a split second. But still, it is nice to see the telescope and this meteor death return after so long. Oh, I nearly forgot to show the new ghost from the meteorite death. So, it's not too special, but there is a rotating meteorite just in the middle of the Sim's body. Clearly though, the developers don't want us to forget about the giant observatory that we've had since the game first launched, because now there's 10 new framed moon prints that are part of the Space Print collection that we can get from moon gazing with it. And there's even one that's supposed to show us what Sixum from Get to Work looks like from space. Moving on to Create a Sim, we have 3 new things. First is an afro-textured beard. The second are some more recolors of a dress we got before my wedding stories, but with some more toned down colors rather than ones that remind me of parachutes. And we got a hijab, which is actually a version of a My Wedding Stories item, but without the veil attached to it, and it's available for everybody, which is even better in my opinion. In build mode, we now have the Brickery Elite Caution wallpaper, which complements the Brickery Elite wallpaper that we already have. And there are also two new terrain panes, one that has a lot of tiny rocks, and another is Pine Duff. For a couple of miscellaneous additions, we have Wolfsbane, which was previously exclusive to vampires, but now it's been made base game, and it can be found in both Forgotten Hollow and Moonwood Mill. On top of that, we also have reticulating splines back as a loading screen tip, which kind of harkens back to the classic Maxis titles, which have this as a running joke. We also have some bug fixes, which thankfully are more than usual. The rocket ship is finally fixed, thank goodness. It's been almost exactly a year since that broke with the Cottage Living pre-patch. Among the bug fixes are a couple of major ones for Dream Home Decorator, but it also unlocks a jacket from that pack that for some reason we could not access. Unfortunately, it's only available on the feminine frame. It would be nice if they converted it for masculine as well, because I think it's pretty nice and has some nice colors. And that's pretty much it. So overall, I think this is a pretty decent update, with more content than I expected, and some pretty decent bug fixes. There's definitely some things that could be improved, and also some things that I think need clarifying, especially regarding the toddlers and the interactions they were supposed to have received. But some fun stuff going on here, and again, so glad that we finally have Lunar Cycles. So feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on this update, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!